horn of trash.
Hey everyone, Sammy the Bull here with you. Real quick, before we get started, I wanted to let you know about our Magic the Gathering Autism Awareness Tournament coming up in April on the 12th, the weekend of the 12th in April. We're going to have a Magic the Gathering tournament, a Commander tournament that is cEDH level, bring your best decks, but it is going to be a charity-driven tournament for Autism Awareness Month. We have partnered up with our local game store, Tier 1 Games, and they're going to be providing us a huge tournament space in their new store out here in Temecula, and we're going to be partnering up also with Autism Society of Los Angeles and Autism Society of Inland Empire. Both of those charities will be out here at the store. We're going to have magic artists out at the store, from actual magic content artists that create the artwork for cards, so not just some random people. These are people that are actually on the cards that you play. So we're gonna have a good time. There's gonna be plenty of chances to donate money, win prizes. We'll have lots of cool stuff there. Last year we did our first tournament just to see how it went, and it went really well. We raised nearly $3,000 for Autism Awareness Month and those charities last year. So we're going to try and do it again. A lot of the proceeds from the tickets that you buy for the event to submit your decks and play in the actual tournament itself, a lot of those proceeds will be going to the charity as well. And it's just going to be a great time. There'll be plenty of opportunities while you're there to donate and look around the store, buy some cool stuff as well from Tier 1 Games. So all around, it's just going to be a great time. If you're in the local area, if you're in the Los Angeles area or the Inland Empire or anywhere in SoCal, you're invited to come on down, or anywhere in the world actually. Come on out here if you really want to help us out with our autism tournament and raise a lot of money for autism by playing a game that we all love and are part of, right? So it'll be a fun weekend. Again, April 12th, big tournament happening out here in SoCal, Temecula, California, at Tier 1 Games. Bring your best decks. It's a cEDH Commander tournament. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to all of the folks that are out here at Tier 1 Games as well. So yeah, come on out, or just if you can't come on out, you know, we'll have QR codes and all that kind of stuff and ways for you to donate, so please do that. Thanks. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Bad Goyfs. This is Sammy the Bull here with you. We're talking about some deck building this week. We're going to be going over a Bracket 5 deck build with Kaalia the Vast. And with us today is a special guest. Goes by Joedun, also known as @Joedun. He's on Joedun. How you doing there, Joedun?
Doing okay. Doing okay.
All right. So kind of talked about what we're going to do here. Kaalia the Vast is what we're talking about. Had a couple of watchers of the old Bad Goyfs, some viewers, some subs out there that talked about want to see a Kaalia the Vast deck, and a lot of them said they want to see it in Bracket 3, but you have a Bracket 5 deck, and so maybe at the end there we'll talk about how we would maybe break it down to a Bracket 3 so that you know, you're not hated across all Magic tables. Right. So tell us a little bit about Kaalia first of all. Like, what made you want to jump into some Kaalia?
Well, let's be honest. Have you seen Kaalia?
Have you seen Kaalia?
Like,
I mean, look at this artwork. Look
yeah,
at this.
Exactly. That's the only reason. I'll be honest with you. That's the only reason.
That's the only reason. Oh, hey,
that's
man.
basically the only reason. Also,
that's the only reason I got into Magic.
Oh, I felt because of Kaalia now there's a lot more I like about the deck because of getting into it. But honestly, the colors are really fun, and just cheating out really big demons and dragons. Yeah. Who doesn't like to do that?
You know what I noticed about your deck as I was kind of going through it, and we'll get into it here in a second as we go through the creatures and stuff. There's no angels.
No, who needs those?
Who needs those?
I mean, if I was to, like, you know, change it up for Bracket 3, there would be angels, but angels aren't good.
Right, yeah,
level.
for cEDH, yeah, so that's exactly why I was like, this is probably why he has no angels, because they're like, for cEDH, angels, I don't even know one angel that's really that great in cEDH.
No,
but it would be kind of cool to cheat out an Avacyn, but that doesn't really help you out as much, I guess, in cEDH.
No,
doesn't really drive your game forward.
No one's running instant speed board wipes, so.
Right, yeah, exactly. Unlike in like regular Magic, people are running instant speed board wipes. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
I've been playing some regular like Bracket 3 Magic lately. And it's been stupid, really ridiculous. It's just games go on forever. All my creatures are dead. My entire board state's gone. I'm like, this is
this is awesome. What do you mean?
It's
The
so
game
great
goes on
at
for hours.
Magic. That's what people do in bracket 3. They just murder the board. All right.
Yeah.
Let's jump into your creatures here. So obviously we're talking about Kaalia the Vast, right? That's your commander. Right. She's Mardu and 1 of any color. As you can see behind me there, legendary human cleric, flying. And whenever she attacks, so she has to attack, okay. So whenever she attacks, you may put a
demon, dragon, or angel.
Demon, dragon, or angel from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So she gets around things like propaganda or anything that would like cost you to attack me or something like that.
Any pillow fort decks suffer.
Any pillow forts out there, they're just gone.
Yeah.
They've just been trampled over.
Exactly.
All right, so let's jump into your creatures here. So I like it, man. I was looking at this list a little earlier. Why don't you take me through some of your selections here? Because I only have really like one. I only have like one question about this whole creature slot.
There's a lot I want to say about this creature slot actually.
Okay.
Is a lot of Kaalia decks. Well, I built this deck back when Dockside was still legal in cEDH and just in general. So my replacement for Dockside was Ancient Copper Dragon. I think there's also another dragon that has the same effect as Dockside, where you make treasures.
Ganex?
Yes.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think rolling a D20 is, I don't know. I think hitting 20 treasures is a little better than
you have the possibility of getting way more treasures, which is kind of equates to a Dockside, I think. Whereas Ganex, I think, was only getting you 1.
Right. So. That's why Ancient Copper Drake's in here. Boromir, just to get rid of the freebies out of the game. People love their freebies in cEDH.
Yeah, and you're not playing blue, so you can't really fight against it too well.
So that's another thing about this deck that I tried to do, is I tried to fight against blue. It's because all my tables I play out, counter spells are being flung everywhere, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a big thing with red, white, black, they don't have a lot of interaction. But with this deck specifically, I added as much interaction as I possibly could. So things like Dualcaster Mage, for example, obviously he's a big win piece. Like Dualcaster Mage is a great card, but it also can act as a pseudo counterspell, I like to say.
Oh,
because you flash it in, it copies target spell, instant or sorcery, and then you can use it right back at them.
You know, I thought it was one that you had, but you're right. It says copy target. I just realized that. Wow, you just taught me something. So that card is very good in any red deck. If you're running red at any sort of deck, you should be running Dualcaster Mage. We got Esper. Obviously, Esper is a classic draw engine. Oh, yeah.
Grand Abolisher. You got to protect your spells.
Yep.
It's very important when your deck doesn't have a lot of counter spells. And a personal favorite dragon of mine is Hooting Broodlord.
Yes.
He's cool because he'll exile a card face down, but that's on ETB effect, so you can you can convoke it. So a cool thing you can do is using an instant speed card like Saw in Half is Hooting Broodlord comes out off Kaalia's effect.
Right.
Then you use a card like Saw in Half to Saw in Half to get 2 more Hooting Broodlords to get 3 searches and 2 mana to use as convoke.
You keep saying hooting, and I'm thinking you meant hoarding.
Hoarding. Did I say hooting? I don't know.
Yeah, he's hooding.
I'm a little mumbly today. Sorry.
He's
Let's go off work.
I think you're mixing up brood with hood. You're like, yeah.
Hooting Broodlord can instantly bring out some of your wins.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which is nice.
So imagine if you had Dualcaster Mage, and then you did the Saw in Half, and then you got like 4. How could you do that? Could you do that? Could you get 4 Hoarding Broodlords, or would that not work?
Well, let's go off a different road here.
Oh.
If you had Dualcaster Mages Saw in Half, you could just make infinite Dualcaster Mages that don't go away at the end step.
They all just become 1/1s?
They're all just 1/1s.
Oh, that's insane.
Obviously, they're not flying, and they don't have haste or anything, but it is the combo you can do. Also, another thing I like to do is, so I like to think of it as a tree, this Saw in Half Dualcaster Mage combo. It just keeps splitting up and up and up, and you can get as many Dualcaster Mages as you want, and at the end of when you're done, you can copy some other creature, or Saw in Half some other creature.
Oh, damn. You know what?
So,
You just opened my mind to like a whole new realm of possibilities.
Yeah, so like I said, dual caster mage is a very important piece of this whole deck.
Yeah.
You if you're gonna use him for a counter spell, you better have your backup plan ready. That's what I like about hoarding. Hoarding.
He's totally hooting, man.
Lotho, he just makes treasures.
Yeah, we
It's
know
good
what
to have
Lotho
treasures. Luris is recursion for things like what is it? Mana CMC 2 or less. So think of Underworld Breach, right? Permanent card, or no? Is it
creature or permanent?
One permanent spell with CMC 2 or less.
That's your Underworld Breach.
So if someone mills your Underworld Breach, get it back real fast with Luris.
Yeah.
Mogdash is good because she can search out artifact or dragon card if you have enough treasures, and things like Ancient Copper Drake, Lotho, make treasures.
I mean, Magda's good like in her own right.
Yeah,
as
she's broken. Like,
yeah,
there's no reason not to run her. Master of Cruelties is kind of a pet card. I don't think this card's good, but it does have a unique interaction with Kaalia. If you notice, when Master of Cruelties attacks a player and isn't blocked, that player life total becomes 1. Master of Cruelties assigns no combat damage to this combat. But the interesting thing is, with Kaalia, you can cheat him out since he's a demon, and his effect will still trigger.
Boom.
So you just instantly kill someone. So that's very targeted. You will be hated. But it is something I added into this deck because I thought it would be funny.
Just a fun hate piece. Is that 5 mana too? That's 2 red and 3.
It's a black, red, and 3 any mana.
Yeah, black, red, and 3 for a 1/4 first strike death touch.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And can only attack alone, so the Kaalia trigger helps you get around that as well.
Exactly.
Because it just comes in attacking.
Yeah.
Okay, so it supersedes that. That's cool.
Yes.
That's freaking awesome.
Opposition
I'm learning
agent.
so much about how to destroy your opponents even quicker.
Yeah. It's very targeted. You'll be absolutely hated. Like, they'll be like, really? Like, come on. But it is nice sometimes when you know someone's popping off. You know what they got in their hand, and you gotta take them out.
You got those Russells and those
exactly.
Out there, and those Jameses out there that
are
like, tip it, and you're like, okay, one life.
I am tainted back.
Yeah.
Well, now
we know who they are. We know who they are.
Opposition agent. Obviously, this is good for cEDH level. People like to search, so you stop their searching, and then you can search. Orcish, of course. Professional Facebreaker is another card that just makes you treasures. Ragavan is also another card that just makes you treasures and cheats out other people's cards.
Yep.
Ranger Captain, of course.
It's almost like a tiny Atali.
Yes, yeah, exactly. A one-person tiny Atali.
One-person small tiny Atali.
And then you got Razaketh. Razaketh is absolutely busted. It is 8 mana, so it absolutely should be busted. But paying 2 life and sacrificing another creature to search for any card is great. Like 9 times out of 10, if I put Razaketh out, I'm sacking Kaalia to Razaketh to search something.
Yeah.
So he's a no-brainer. Runescar Demon is a simple demonic tutor on a creature.
Right. So here's where I want to stop you. Okay, Runescar Demon. Have you heard of the other demon card that is Burning Scar Demon?
Here, let me look it up real fast.
So if you look up Burning Scar Demon, it's going to pop up right here on the screen right now, and I'm going to show you this Burning Scar Demon.
Burning Rune Demon?
Burning Rune Demon, yeah, sorry. Okay. I get names mixed up because they're very similar. But if you look at Burning Rune Demon, way better than Runescar Demon.
Oh wow! Wait, this card's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like the same thing, but doubly good. Can you read off what it says there?
So when in ETBs, you may search your library for exactly 2 cards not named Burning Rune Demon that have different names. If you do, reveal those cards. An opponent chooses one of them, puts the chosen card into your hand and the other one into your graveyard, and shuffle your library. Wow. So this is a black intuition on a creature, kinda.
On a demon body, right?
Yeah.
Which
that's
is crazy.
Wow, I never knew that card existed.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this card is like 1,000 times better than RuneScar Demon, especially as we'll see later here when we get into the rest of your deck that you're running some recursion and some reanimate stuff. So
Right.
yeah,
I
just
think
thought
that card.
know.
If I was gonna take that card would be going in. Absolutely. I would take
Absolutely.
RuneScar Demon out for that card, or even I would take out some other card. for that
Right.
Card. RuneScar Demon is like a demonic tutor, like I said, so it's still okay.
Yeah, actually, maybe just keep RuneScar and take something else out.
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't know.
Otho is he's carried me some games, not gonna lie. Shieldred, everyone loves their draw, so they die for it. Simian Spirit Guide. Here's another pet card, Valgavoth.
Okay.
He recently came out with Dustmord, and I just think being able to basically, it's Dothy on a giant demon, Dothy Voidwalker.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could just play Dothy, but
But
why not have a
why would you do that when
9/9?
you can get a
Yeah.
giant 9/9 demon out for free that's attacking on the first turn?
Yep, and it has the ward
has
cost.
lifelink.
It's insane. Yeah.
Not that
So-
really matters in cEDH, but still, it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice to have a 9 extra life.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Especially with this next card, Villis. Villis is a personal favorite demon. I think this is my favorite demon out of all of them. And what are the two most important things when it comes to cEDH or just Magic in general?
Right.
It's
Drawing
tutoring
cards.
your wins and drawing your cards. And Villis just draws your deck, basically. You pay 2 life, targeted creature gets 1/1, so it has targeted removal, -1/1. And then whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. So you lose a lot of life in cEDH.
Oh yeah.
Whether you think about it, like you're cracking your lands, you're paying 2 life for Ancient Tomb, you're
Lotho.
yeah. And so Villis is popping a lot. He's giving you a lot of cards. 9 times out of 10, if I get this card on the field, it's either gone within a second or I win.
Or I win.
Because of how many cards it could possibly draw. But you do have to be careful. There are infinites in the deck that could kill you this way. For example, like if you're doing Bolas Citadel nonsense.
All right.
Villis could kill you. So you got to be careful, but he is still very good.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah,
I think
and
that's all the creatures.
I think that's it, right? That's all the creatures.
Yeah.
I think we went over a good review of each of those, and we'll kind of we'll talk later about like maybe some of the changes we might make for bracket 3 if there is any.
I would take out Grand Abolisher. I'd take out Orcish, Opposition Agent. I would take out a lot of like the cEDH.
You take out
staples.
Orcish Bowmaster even in bracket 3?
Yeah, I think I would. It's a great card, but this is where the bracket system kind of falls short. Is that card pisses people off? Obviously, if you don't mind that, I would leave it in. But if I'm gonna be consciously building a card that is basically just cheating out demons and all that nonsense, Orcish would be one of the cut.
Yeah. You want to put in something that's like solid demon, angel, dragon type of stuff,
Right.
maybe.
Right. I would put in Avacyn. I would put in 2 cool angels that merge to form that really annoying.
Oh
angel.
yeah, the Gisela.
Yeah, I would put that in for sure. That's just such a cool card. So, yeah.
All right. Sweet. All right, you ready to talk about some sorceries?
Yeah, these are pretty self-explanatory. Besides,
I mean, they are.
But I do want to talk about a few.
Yeah. So, go for it, man. We got the, your pretty like standard cEDH sorceries here.
Right. Molten Duplication is a newer card.
Right.
That just goes infinite with Dualcaster Mage as well. It also gives it haste.
Yep. Any reason that
so
you
that
didn't
is-
also do Twin Flame as well?
So Twin Flame is in my current deck list, actually.
Okay.
This isn't fully updated. It is in my current deck list. But honestly, too much redundancy could be kind of awful for you.
Yeah. I hear you.
But the cool thing about Molten Duplication is not only does it copy creatures, it copies artifacts. So if you have a big mana spell, like Peer into the Abyss or Bolas' Citadel, you could copy your mana vaults and cheat it out a little earlier than you would originally.
Heck yeah,
So-
man. I mean, copying any artifact that provides you 2 or more mana is going to be great.
Yeah. So then you got Appearance of the Abyss, which if you just use this on yourself, this is basically just a win. You draw
Yeah.
half your deck. So
Yeah, it's game
And
over,
then-
basically.
yeah, Reanimate, Rite of Flame, Savines, then Wheel of Fortune. One of my favorite win cons in this deck is to Wheel of Fortune over and over again and make people draw their whole decks,
Right.
which
And especially
could
if
be
you have
risky.
Shield Dread.
Yes, which could be risky
Could be.
because they might have Boseiju or something to blow up your Underworld Breach, but that's why you have something like Savines or the other recursion card we talked about earlier to just get it back.
Yeah.
Um,
Funny to
So I
me
think
that Wheel of Fortune is not one of the game changers, because it is literally a game changer. Because we all had these 7 cards, and now we do not have those,
yeah, that's a
those
good
7
point. Good
cards
point.
anymore.
We'll say it too loud. I don't want that on the game changer
Like,
list.
but it does change the game significantly.
Yeah,
Wizards.
it does.
Good lord.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Nice. All right. So I noticed though you have a metric ton of a certain type of card, which is instance.
Yes. Like I
Yes.
said earlier, one of my goals was to be able to keep up with blue players.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people like to say, "Oh, Mardu can't do this," or "Orzhov can't do that." Well, no, it can. It can.
Yeah, man.
So, like-
All right. Let's jump into it. The instance for Kaalia. What we got here?
So Abience is a targeted silence, right? So you use it at someone's upkeep, or you use it on the start of your turn against someone else, and it will silence them. They
Especially the blue player.
especially the blue player, exactly. So honestly, it's interaction. It's just a good protect your own win con piece against a single target, which you do have to be mindful who you're picking, but it does help a lot, especially if you know someone has a counter spell.
Right.
Ad
But then they
nauseum.
wasted that counterspell on your stupid advance, and then you're like,
Exactly, and it's like, there we go, there's one gone.
There's one out,
So ad nos, self-explanatory, win the game card.
basically.
Angel's Grace saves yourself from the Wheel of Fortune combo, because if you do have to draw your deck and don't have any cards, you still lose. So Angel's Grace would stop that. You will win. It's a split second card, so it can't be interacted with. So it just goes through. It's just to protect your Wheel of Fortune win.
So you're more looking at like, this is going to protect me, Vice, trying to use it to like stop a Thalia or something like that, or not Thalia, a Thassa or Thassa.
Yes.
You're
Yes,
like,
exactly.
this is for me to not lose to myself.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Nice.
So, Burn Offering, so you can just sacrifice Kaalia, get a bunch of mana,
Mana,
Cabal
mana.
Ritual, Manual, Mana. Deflecting
man.
Spot, classic red counterspell.
Yep.
Align Tutor, Entomb, Final Fortune is that extra win. If you don't end up winning on your extra turn, you will lose, but that's where cards like Angel Grace comes in handy. You don't lose, and you can keep going.
Well, how about that?
So here's a cool card. His Final Showdown is a
Yeah,
new
this
card.
is a new card, right? Thunder Junction?
Yes. And my favorite thing about this card is that it is an instant speed board wipe. And a lot of people will say to not run board wipes in cEDH, but I think at instant speed and it having other option as well, I think it's very viable. For
Yeah,
example,
and you're not running Toxic Deluge, so this is probably just
No.
a good extra thing to have in case you're like, you know what, you're Najila. Imagine like 200 warriors about to come at you, and you're like, well, you know what, I do have a response for your 200 warriors. I will at instant speed destroy all of them.
And then also the other cool thing about this card is you can choose what it is. So you
Right.
can pay a white and a colorless to just make all creatures lose all abilities. So
And
Sisei
then,
doesn't. Sisei doesn't Sisei.
You could do all of those steps too, right? If you wanted to pay
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You could do all three if you wanted to.
Nice.
I think this card's very good. I don't see many players running it. I think more people should.
I think people are just like, oh, it's 6 mana and it's 3
Yeah.
white, and that's a
Yeah.
lot for me in my, you know, I don't know, Sisei deck. Who knows?
The next card, Get Lost, is a newer card as well. That is a destroy Rhystic button. Not a lot of people run enchantment removal, but I sure do. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
like seeing Ristics in the field. It needs to go away.
Exactly. And also, I was looking through your deck list here, and I looked in the tokens, and I saw a map. And I was like, what the hell? I was like,
It's
what
very
makes a
weird.
map token in cEDH?
I've never,
I literally had to skim through every card because I could not figure out where
it's
these
so
maps
funny.
came from.
Because whenever I do use this card, which is, I actually use it quite often, I always forget, oh, you get a map token.
Yeah.
Oh, what the
Oh.
fuck am I going to do with this?
What the hell is this for? What is it even? Okay, so it's a artifact with 1 sacrifice this artifact. Target creature you control explores. Oh, okay. Well, that's not terrible.
No, it's
not a bad
okay.
mechanic or
No.
anything, but you really care about that in cEDH.
Man, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate it. That's 1 extra artifact for some reason.
So the next card, Imps Mischief, is a black deflecting spot for 2 mana. For black and a colorless, so why not run it? And Mana Tithe. I've felt more people run Mana Tithe.
Yeah,
it's just because they pay 1.
cEDH players think like, oh yeah, I'm good, and I just tap out completely, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, Mana Tithe.
Do you know how many times
Or they're
I
like
get
on
Mana
turn-
Tithe off? Like,
So they're like on turn 2 and they're getting down their 1 ring, but then you're like Mana Tithe.
Exactly.
No extra mana. Because
turn
it's like
3, you get those turn 3 wins with the Necropotence and all that shit, and then you just Mana Tithe it,
yeah, Mana Tithe.
and it's gone.
You know how many times I've been Mana Tithed in my freaking Magic career? It's ridiculous.
It's a good card.
It is a good card.
Orm's Chance is also another targeted silence.
Yep.
I love those targeted silences. Pyroblast, red, counterspell for blue. Red Elemental Blast, same thing. Reprieve, I think is pretty good. Return target spell to its owner's hand. So,
Yeah, it's like Remand almost.
yeah. So I think it's pretty good. Then Return the Favor is a pretty cool card. It's a copy card like Dualcaster. And it also has another effect where it becomes a deflecting SWAT. So you can basically choose both the modes or just one of them. And I think it's a very versatile card. I think it should be run more.
Yeah, for red, for sure.
Son Half is that card we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
you
we talked
destroy
about that
a
a
target
little bit.
creature.
Is there
splits
any
them in
other
half.
like weird combo in here that you're like, I've done like a crazy Son half thing and this was what it was?
Most of the time, no. If I do use Son Half without Dualcaster Mage, it's for Hoarding Broodlord or for Razaketh to get more searches off. It just works on a lot of different creatures just to get multiple ETB effects and multiple bodies out. It's very good.
Totally agreed.
The silence is silence. Swords.
Silence, of course, is like all the other silences in your deck.
Yep.
It's like a stacks deck, but only at instant speed.
It's because, like, there's so many blue players. You gotta keep them in check.
Exactly. Especially if you're playing Mardu.
Exactly. Wear and Tear is another artifact. And was it artifact removal? Yeah.
So, T-Bolt's Trickery. What do you think about that as a counterspell?
I don't like it.
Okay,
I
why?
think, let's be honest, every card in a cEDH player's deck is scary.
Yes.
If it's a permanent card, it's going to be scary. You might have that chance where it's a Soul Ring or it's another Mana Rock, but do you know how many times I've used Tibalt's Trickery and then I see a Rhystic Study or the One Ring come out because of what I did, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's even worse than what I countered.
That's worse than what I was counterspelling.
Honestly, Tibalt Trickery could be good late game when they're trying to Thassus or whatever.
Yeah, maybe if they Thassa's they did the demonic consultation, or like they did it in a way where there's like no deck left, and now they're gonna try to trigger the something like that. I don't know.
It's good in that way.
You're like, maybe it's good in that way, but that's about it though.
Yeah, that's why I have all these other cards to stop that now.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the instance.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's get into your speaking of artifacts that are coming down that are terrible for you, or to play against you, I guess. What do we got here for artifacts? Looks like you're run of the mill, but I do see you mentioned the Bolas Citadel earlier. For what are some of the tricks you're doing with Bolas Citadel in here?
Well, Bolas Citadel is a 1-card win. let's be honest. You put that down, it's scary. Everyone wants it off the field because you're going to be going through your deck. You might be stopped by a land, but that's where cards like Sensei's Inviting Top comes in. That's where the One Ring comes in. Grinding Station. There's a lot of ways to get around Bolas' Citadel from getting stopped. But Bolas' Citadel, realistically, if you put it down, you're going to be winning in the next few turns.
All right.
Unless
so
it's gone.
You're not worried. So you're playing Adnaz also. So you're playing both of these together, and both of them are costing you life. Like, are you not worried about possibly?
Dude, if
yourself
I
out?
die, I die. That's how I looked at it. It's,
I love it.
You were running a bunch of other demons as well that are 9 mana, so Adnaz with those as well is pretty scary. But here's the thing. Here's the cool thing about this deck is if you Adnaz and you hit Bolas' Citadel and then a demon and then a few mana rocks, that Bolas' Citadel's coming out. Those demons are coming out. You're getting those things off. And you might not have a lot of life now, but you're going to be winning in the next turn or two. So who did life is a resource.
Right?
All right?
And let's say
Life
you
is
did
a
do that, and
resource.
you still had Kaalia on the board, and you attack, and then you put your giant Valgavoth down and then gain 9 of that life back.
Exactly. Chromox, obviously. Grinding Station, it helps with Underworld Breach wins.
Okay.
So you would sacrifice, let's say, Lotus Petal, cast Lotus Petal for free, and then mill your 3 cards and exile the 3. It's just good to go through the deck.
Yeah, you just cycle through it.
Lion's Eye Diamond, obviously another piece to the Underworld Breach line.
Right.
This lets you loop Wheel of Fortune infinitely. Lotus Petals, Lotus Petal, Manivolt's Manivolt, Mox Diamond, Mox Opal. Senseis, I like Senseis. I think Sensei should go in every deck. I'm a Sensei's lover. I love this card.
Yeah.
I think just being able to pay 1 mana to look at your future is so nice. So I just like having it in most of my decks.
So this being like Sans Blue, of course, do you think Power Balance is a good card?
I wanted to test Power Balance, but I really haven't had the chance.
Because you're playing
really
Senseis,
give it a
and
shot.
Power Balance and Senseis is kind of like counterbalancing Senseis a little
Yeah.
bit, but not exactly the same. But still, it's kind of the same concept.
The issue with counterbalance is I don't know what to take out to fit in. It's very like, what do I take out?
What do you
I
take
want to get
out?
rid of?
Maybe you take
But
out
I
that
do wanna
Talisman
try it.
Conviction.
Hey,
No,
I don't know
that's
why.
one. That's
I don't
one
know why
question
I
did
picked
have.
that one,
Why,
but I like that
why
one.
just the Talisman of Conviction? Why not the other one?
I think red is more heavily used starting off in the game, and it helps with your win, right?
Red and white.
Yeah. I think having that mana up is pretty important at all times. You're cheating out all your the black demons and everything.
Right.
So it's not like you really need as much black as you would need the other 2 colors.
Yeah, and the white is also a big part of your interaction.
Exactly.
So yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I would like to run the other one, but like I said earlier, I don't know what to take out.
Yeah, it's always difficult when you get down to that last couple of cards. You're like,
Yeah.
I like all of these cards.
Exactly.
They're all amazing.
The One Ring.
The One Ring's the One Ring.
Wishclaw Talisman. A good friend of mine taught me to Wishclaw Talisman, search for Oppo Agent, and give it to the blue guy, so you can flash out Oppo Agent on their turn when they use your Wishclaw.
Which one? Which card are they telling you to go get?
Oppo, you get Oppo Agent using Wishclaw. You give Wishclaw to the blue guy,
Hilarious.
and then you just flash out Oppo.
Hey, folks, guess what? Goyfs, we just learned about a new combo called Wishclaw Oppo Agent.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good, man. That's good stuff. All right, and then your enchantments there kind of like speak for themselves.
Right.
They're bastions of the format almost.
Exactly.
Underworld Breach is
and
like the only red card apparently. So,
Underworld Breach is so broken. It's so busted.
yeah.
All right.
Especially because things like Lion's Eye Diamond exist.
Exactly. And I guess the lands. I mean, this land base is updated now. I've updated this. I've taken a land out.
Yeah, all right. Getting into the lands here. So, there wasn't really much about your lands that I was like, had any questions about it or anything. It's pretty run-of-the-mill stuff, but obviously Ancient Tomb, and I could see that you did update your deck, according with the bans and stuff that happened with Dockside and
Right.
all that.
I did that. I did that the night you asked me to look at my deck list because I haven't touched the box field in a while.
You're like, wait a minute, I hadn't seen that in a minute.
Yeah. I took out Emergent Zone.
Okay.
I do think flash speed is important, but this deck doesn't have enough outlets to really take advantage of the flash. Obviously, flash in general is good, but you're not winning on your end step with this deck. You're going to be...
Yeah, I was going to say, because a lot of your stuff is combat-based, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I took Emergent Sound, and I instead put the new land, what is it called? Arena of Glory.
Arena of Glory. And what does Arena of Glory do?
So you can pay a red to get 2 red to basically give whatever creature you cast with it haste.
And there you go.
So Kaalia comes out and immediately swings. Boom. On a land.
Boom. And Valgavoth comes down on turn maybe 2?
2 or 3 or 4, realistically.
Realistically, 3. So that was another thing I was going to ask you is, like, what's your win time on this deck? Like, what are you usually looking at?
I will be honest with you. The bans made it a lot worse.
Yeah.
A lot of the times I did rely heavily on Jeweled Lotus and the Mana Vault to get Kaalia out on turn 2 or 3. I would mulligan most of the time for just a mana base to cheat her out, and then let the top deck decide my fate after that. But Kaalia is pretty hard to get. A Mardu with 1 colorless is pretty hard to get out, so I did rely heavily. Nowadays, before the bans, I said I was winning like turn 6, 7. I would say nowadays I am winning a lot later. I am well into the mid game. If someone is trying to Necropotence flash speed win on turn 3, and I don't have a card to counter it or to help counter it, then it's going through, obviously, and it's over.
Yeah.
Because of the bans, I added a lot more interaction so that we could survive later into the game.
So what are some of the things you updated?
Stuff like Get Lost, Imp's Mischief. Mana Tithe wasn't actually originally in this deck.
Okay.
Return the Favor. I've added a lot more to it because of the bans. There are a few cards that I would also add and take out still. Like, I would add the new tutor from Duskborn that lets you tutor out a demon. Or
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or
that one's only 2 mana, right?
Yeah, it's a black and a colorless, and it could also, if you have a certain amount of cards in your graveyard, it turns into Demonic Tutor.
Oh man. Oh, it has like Delirium or something like that, or Threshold.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's a
we'll
lot
put
of
it right up here on the screen whenever I find it.
Yeah, that's fair. So all in all, that's the whole deck. There's a lot of redundancy. There's a lot of interaction. I'm trying to find a place for Jessica's Will because I do want more mana.
Yeah, that Jessica's Will is probably something to add as well.
I think bottleneck is the mana.
So we got your lands there. So this last part I want to kind of talk about. I just like the fact that Moxfield does a lot of this kind of stuff for you. That gives you like a deck breakdown. Even though black is like your highest percentage of mana, like you said, you're cheating out all those giant black demons that you're not trying to like cast those, right. And you're trying to just Kaalia them. So the majority of your deck actually is red and white, which makes sense for your talisman. So
it all lines up.
Yeah, it all lines up.
I did think about it a little bit. Okay.
Right. Yeah. You're like, I put some thought into this deck. Final thoughts here. So we got it. It's a bracket 5 cEDH deck. You kind of rebuilt it a little bit, even from what we're looking at here. What are some of like the major things you would do for bracket 3? But like, what are some of the other overhauls you'd do for bracket 3?
So, I don't know how you play your bracket 3. I've seen so many different iterations of it so far, but I would take out all the tutors.
Okay.
Tutors are very powerful. I don't think if you're going to be playing a mid-level deck, you don't need any tutors. You're playing mid-level. So things like Demonic, MCL, and Lightning, I would take those out. But
well, you get to keep 3 game changers.
Right. Right.
So which 3 game changers would you keep out of your list? Because you have like a million game changers in this deck. So
I would go a little spicy.
Okay.
I would keep Ad Nauseam,
Ad Nas,
Bolas' Citadel, and Underworld Breach.
And Underworld Breach. Okay.
You don't have wins for Underworld Breach. There's no winning with Underworld Breach. It's just recursion. It's all. It's just a reanimate.
Okay.
That's what
okay.
I would
so
use it
so you're
as.
not using it as a win line at that point. You're just like, I'm gonna replay these spells on this turn, not necessarily to win, but like to get my big stuff back out maybe or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay.
I would also go up to 33 lands. Like I said, I don't think more than 33 is needed. I think 33 is like a very, very perfect number when it comes to lands.
Yeah, and that was the other thing I was noticing is like, and something I had mentioned in one of the previous videos I did was like one of the precons I did, the Disa precon, it came with 39 lands, and I was like, is there 39 lands in here? There's a couple of landfall things in there, so I guess that's kind of like the thought process, but yeah, I think like a bracket 3 deck is definitely going to have a lot more lands in it. You're going to have because you have less access to things like Lion's Eye Diamond and those kind of big artifact spells and mana rocks that we play with in cEDH. Right. So, but yeah, like you're definitely going to have a much larger land base, I think. So, what are some of the lands you would add?
Oh, dude, it's hard. It's hard to think of the utility lands off the top of my head. Probably Rogue's Passage.
Okay. Yeah, because you just want to get through with Kaalia, basically. Oh, well, she doesn't. It's just an attack trigger.
Yeah, it's just an attack trigger, but not having a blockable 9/9 is always nice.
You didn't have to pay 9 mana for it, so you might as well pay 4 mana to do a Rogue's Passage.
Exactly. I would probably add that. Arena of Glory would stay in. That card is just busted.
Okay. Yeah, that was one you mentioned already. Was Arena of Glory.
I would probably add some Surveil lands.
Some Surveil, okay, yeah. That'll help you out with especially if you're doing the Sensei Divining Top, type of stuff.
Yeah. Obviously, I would take out Ancient Tomb as a game changer. I already have 3, so that would be gone. Yeah.
So now you're keeping Underworld Breach, but you wouldn't keep Lion's Eye Diamond.
No.
No. Okay.
Because
that's Wheel of Fortune is not a game changer.
I know exactly. So honestly, the cEDH version of this deck could probably still work pretty well in bracket 3.
Yeah.
Just scared to think about.
You just take out a few of those game changers and put in something else, and like it's almost the same deck still.
But when people say bracket 3 Kaalia, they want to cheat out angels. They want to cheat out demons, no matter how good or bad they are.
They're not looking for for you to win the game off of an Underworld Breach or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's not in the spirit of Kaalia. So.
Yeah. It does say no 2-card combos, but really it's a 3-card combo. It's Lion's Eye plus something else plus Underworld Breach. So
the cool thing about Kaalia, I think, at the time when I built this deck, I was very new to the game. Kaalia is a very easy, beginner-friendly deck to build.
Yeah.
She's very self-explanatory. All you gotta do is find big demons, angels, and dragons that give you a lot of value and cheat them out.
And that's it. You get her on the board, you attack with her, and then you put out this giant dude.
So for those people at home, if you really want to build a bracket 3, I would suggest trying to build your own deck from scratch. Just going off her triggers. Look up big angels. You go on Google, look up big angels in Magic. The best ones would pop up. Add those to the deck. Add the best dragons. Add the best demons. It's very easy to build a deck, and it's very easy for it to be good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if you had no game changers or anything else, Kaalia, even at exhibition level 1, casual, is still way overpowered. I would not count this as a casual commander by any means.
No, that's why she's infamous. She's very good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. I think we made it through all this stuff. We talked about some bracket 3-ness. We were going to dial it down a little bit for those who want to play a little bit more mid-range, not trying to kill each other on turn 3 or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, appreciate it, man. Anything else did you want to, you got anything going on that you want to talk about at all?
Well, the Final Fantasy set's coming out soon, right?
Okay.
The biggest set of the year.
Right.
And me personally, I love Final Fantasy.
Right.
It's my favorite series on the planet. So, for the past 6 months or a few months, no, it's not like 3 months, I've been making a Final Fantasy YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
So,
And what's
if
it
people
called?
want to go, it's called Lithion.
Lithion.
FFXIV.
Okay. XIV. So Lithion 14.
Final Fantasy 14.
Okay,
Because I do
gotcha.
Final Fantasy 14 content.
See, I'm not
but,
even a Final Fantasy guy at all, so it's kind of like...
Oh, don't worry. I will be talking nonstop whenever I'm around you about.
So I
these
did
new
see a
cards that are coming out.
Mardu warrior lady that is coming out in the
Terra,
set.
yeah.
What's her name?
Terra.
Terra.
Yes.
And then there was another one, though, wasn't there?
Yeah, the second commander of the set.
What was her name?
I forgot her name.
It was like Mardu, and it was almost like Kaalia's mana cost, actually.
Yeah, it's exactly Kaalia's mana cost, I think.
But it seemed really good. It seemed like...
She seems like a broken commander with persist.
yeah, like, it
Treacherous.
seems super good.
So, yeah, I've been making Final Fantasy content, and when the Magic set eventually comes out, I plan on doing a lot of Magic Final Fantasy content on that channel. So,
Sweet.
I guess I'll send you a link to put.
Yeah, we'll put your nice little link right up here. Go see Joedun. Go see Joedun do some Final Fantasy. You know what I'm saying, man? Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
All right,
What's going on in April?
Oh
What's going on
yeah,
in April?
well, they heard all about that in the beginning of this show because we have a whole segment that we
Oh, really? Okay.
that we slot it. It's like 3 minutes of me talking about that.
All right.
But yeah, definitely. Hope some of you guys can make it out. I know James is probably not gonna be able to, and some other people, but
They were talking about coming, but the issue is I'm going on vacation like that week,
oh,
so it's really tough for me to go.
okay.
But I do want to try, so I'll see what I can do.
All right, yeah, man. And if you can't, there is the QR code. You could just donate.
Exactly.
Whatever your gas money was, just donate that. Thanks for hanging out. That's Kaalia the Vast, and this is Joedun hanging out with us here on Bad Goyfs. So appreciate everybody stopping by. Hope everybody had fun, and go build your own Kaalia deck now. Take it easy. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to support us directly, go to patreon.com/badgoyfs. Also, follow us on all social media, links in the description below. And remember, you're all my Goyfs, and I love you. Bye-bye.